it's time for a May garden tour, and I think it's going to be one of my favourites so far of the year because the statue garden is like pure magic. It is the most magical week in this garden ever, and there is so much to see. In fact, probably this might only be a statue garden tour because there is so much to see. So come and have a look at what the statue garden looks like in May. You're going to love it. As always, we will start at the beginning, which is where the entrance is, and it's where all the wisteria is kind of hanging down and looking absolutely insane. So let's start at the beginning, and probably since the last video, yes, I still have got seed trays there, which still have not been potted on and have been neglected, but it is on my weekend job. But can we just appreciate how stunningly beautiful this is? And then the wisteria, the two wisteria trunks, I mean these wisteria are so big, are just like calling you to come into this garden, and it is just like magic. There is so much that has started to flower since last time we did this tour, and it is just so beautiful. The sun, the morning sun is here. I've already had a cup of tea on my bench this morning. We've got the addition of the irises, the allium Kiwania all out, which are looking beautiful. The rhododendron has started to flower, so we're going to have a little look around at everything and see what is growing and see what looks nice. And the wisteria, although it looks stunning now, it's hit its prime day, and then it will start to shed its beautiful petals. But the wonderful thing about wisteria is when the flowers are done, you're left with this incredible canopy of green foliage, so it gives us interest all the way until the autumn, when we then have millions of leaves fall down. So I think let's start at the beginning. Let's start over here in this corner, because even this corner has had enormous changes since last time we did a tour. So this Fatsia has put on a phenomenal amount of growth already this year. So all of these leaves at the top are brand new, and they're glossy and they're just gorgeous. I absolutely love that plant so much. I think they are so underrated, and they can just add interest to shadier, empty corners of the garden, and they're just amazing. So our plan is to kind of let it fill and cover this area. We're then underplanted with this gorgeous astilbe. I've actually got two in here, and they're very, very happy. They've put on a lot of growth and they now fill this whole area, which is great. And then this is the one hydrangea that I've got in this garden, which is a white mop head variety. I don't even know which type it is, but it kind of just is happy there. It doesn't get too big. I'm not a huge fan of hydrangeas, but it is a very lovely white and it just works. And then this gorgeous aquilegia, which is stunningly beautiful. It's just very delicate. That is looking very happy there. And then these are the amazing allium Kiwania bulbs. They're just very subtle. They're not bold like the purple sensation alliums. They're just subtle and dainty. And I had decided to plant lots, so I did them in small groups all through the border. So there's just a dusting of this white allium and it looks beautiful. We've then got the first of the foxgloves to start flowering, which is exciting. It's got lots of stems, this one. It's going to be a whopper. And then I need to cut back these naughty bluebells. These are actually Spanish ones. I've just got two of them which sit in the gravel, and I love them so much that I do just let them be. But they can be really invasive, so I would always say if you've got Spanish bluebells, definitely whip them out. And then I have absolutely loved, this one's gone past its best now, anemone. Can't remember the variety, it's from Dutch Grown, but it is stunningly, stunningly beautiful. And they sort of, each bloom is a different colour, so they're either like pure white or quite lilac, We might find some more as we go around, but I've really, really loved them. And the great thing about anemone is you can plant the corms any time in the year, and you can almost have anemone flowers all summer long, all year long, which is amazing. And then this Nepeta, which is catmint, this is Walker's Low, and the plan was to fill the base of the rose, because roses can look quite sparse at the bottom. So I went for a Nepeta this year, and actually one of the stems there has got even bigger than the rose. They can get really wild, but May is the perfect time to Chelsea chop them, which is literally just chopping off the height of the plant by about a third, and then it will be a bit bushier and less enormous. But to be honest, I'm all about having quite a wild garden here, so I'm just going to let it be. If that stem wants to be massive, it can be massive. And then we're really, really budding up on the roses, and the first one here is just opening up. And then in the back here, I think my shadow's right in the way, these are Lavatera Dwarf Pink Blush, my absolute favourite annual that I grew last year. They're incredible, and they're going to look amazing with the rose. I actually planted so many of them last year, I felt I maybe had too many, so I haven't done as many this year, but they are lovely. And then here we have the most stunning bearded iris, kindly dug up and divided for me by my neighbour. I always admired hers in her front garden, so she very, very kindly divided some in the autumn and brought me a whole bucket of them, and they're just beautiful. I am literally obsessed with them. When they first open, they're like a really icy blue. They're beautiful. And then this bit of the border I'm sort of experimenting with again this year. I'm trying to get the balance of keeping it low maintenance and not having it be too big, because it is right by the window. So you can see the amazing lime green ferns that I've added that are filling huge spaces, which is great. But I've also added lots of grasses, but because the spring bulbs had shaded them out a little bit, they haven't done as well as I thought they would. So hopefully, if I don't plant anything else in there, once all the bulbs are gone, I can give everything a bit of a clean up, hopefully get loads more light in there, and hopefully those grasses will put on a bit of growth once they get a bit more light. Like, they are green. I did also buy them very small, so yeah, hopefully they'll perk up, and then you'll see the alliums all coming through. They look amazing. Aqualegia is a little bit floppy. This clematis is about to flower, and then the big climbing rose has just started to flower this week. Got the first of the flowers, and it's so beautiful, and then just tons and tons and tons of buds. And it's actually been amazing to watch this week. I've had a family of sparrows eating all the aphids off this rose, and it has been absolutely fascinating to watch. It's kept them busy all week, so it kind of makes you feel good that you create habitat that allows that to happen. It's honestly, it's been amazing. Then I do need to do a little bit of deadheading in here, and I think that possibly this forget-me-not is getting past its best, so I need to whip that out before it self-seeds everywhere. But the colours, the planting, just everything just feels like magic at the moment. It's just so beautiful, and all of the new additions, so I'm always kind of tweaking the planting in here, but everything I've added that's new I'm just absolutely loving. So this Thalictrum here, this is Black Stockings, is just adding such a beautiful, delicate pop of colour, and I'm just loving it so much. And I've added it in the middle, and it's looking amazing. I'm really, really pleased with it. I am a huge lover of Thalictrum. I have a few different varieties. I just think they're amazing. And then another favourite plant is this. I call it sticky catchfly. The stems literally your fingers will stick to, but its posh name I think is Viscaria vulgaris. It's actually one of the first perennials I ever bought in the garden. Bought it as a tiny plug plant, and then every year I just divide it so that I get more and more and more, and that's how I now have got them all the way along the front of the border. But they absolutely are one of my favourites, and I think I will always have them in the garden. Another one is this gorgeous sea thrift. You get these pink sort of lollipop flowers and just this massive kind of succulent green foliage, which is almost evergreen, but I love this plant so much. I love how it looks quite wild and it falls over the edge of the border. I just think it's amazing. And then I've also got this lovely little alyssum, which I actually grew from seed in one of my seed grow alongs. So loads of my lovely Grow Club members have also got this in their garden, but that's, yeah, giving me a lot of joy. I'm loving that. And then when this forget-me-not comes out, I have got some verbena that I've grown from seed, which is going to be my filler for the front, just to fill in a few gaps. So I'll be pleased to get that in. And then I need to in the next week, but we'll see about that, to do some more staking. So this lovely phlox, you'll see I've put my support stakes in for this already, but I need to do a lot more staking of some of the bigger ones, because it's all very well your garden looking dreamy and peaceful like this on a nice sunny day, but the reality is if we get wind and rain, it will just batter everything, and you really need to make sure things are growing nice and tall so you're not shading out the plants below and everything has got enough space. And that one looks really neat. I just need to do my Chelsea chop on this as well, and when I Chelsea chop I will do a video on that. I've already done one, but I'll do another one. I just reduce the stems by about a third, which creates you a bit of a more compact looking plant, but also I Chelsea chop only half the stems, which means that it extends your flowering period, because half will flower first and then half will flower a bit later on, and it works really well and it looks great. That's a sweet rocket in there, so I've got a good mixture of perennials and shrubs and bulbs and things I've grown, and it's kind of, yeah, all just doing its thing. This is another plant which is absolutely magic and I will never be without it. I call it London Pride, but it's saxifraga, something like that. I'm not very good with my fancy pants names, but again, it's a plant I wouldn't be without. I started with one tiny bit and just take cuttings, and now I've got just enormous plants of it, and it is just dreamy. It is one of my favourites. I love everything about it. I love the evergreen foliage, I love the flowers, I just love it so much, and I can't wait to take cuttings and have loads more of it next year, because I just think it is beautiful. And then another plant that I would not be without is this sedum. I love sedum. It is great for filling spaces at the front of your border. It's so easy to propagate. I'm actually going to take lots of cuttings of it this year because I would like lots more. But I mean, honestly, it's like succulent, so it's so easy. You just literally, you could pull a bit off like that. Can you see it's already got roots? Boom. Then you make a free plant. But I love it, and it has a gorgeous pink flower. But it's great. Slugs don't like it. Doesn't need really any care. And again, it's another one that just spills over the edge, and I think it looks lovely. Just spotting a few cheeky weeds. I need to have a bit of a tidy up in this gravel. But part of what I'm doing this year is actually letting some things just grow in the gravel and see what happens. I do like this garden to be quite wild and natural, and you know, just let it be. More of these gorgeous allium coanis. I can see some agastache coming through from last year, which is great. This leucanthemum daisy has put on a ton of growth. I mean, May is just the time, isn't it, where everything just goes for it. This phlox has got enormous. I think it might be my favourite phlox, which is a pink and white one. I can just see a cheeky little annual that's just got tangled up in here. I'm trying to set it free. And then in the back here we've got more thalictrum, veronicastrum, a few annuals, cheeky little larkspur in there, and clematis. It is going to be a year for brilliant clematis. I just have a feeling mine are doing exceptionally well. They've had one feed already this year, but I'm going to give them another sprinkling of fish blood and bone powder. But yeah, the growth is just insane at the minute. This is Orlea. So some of my hardy annuals that I grew in the autumn are now starting to do their thing, a bit more thalictrum. I've planted the first of my dahlias out in the ground, and then down here you'll see more of the allium, and then this gorgeous, see if you can see it, this is melica. It's like a grass, but it's sort of got white little grains of rice seed heads, and it looks like sparkles. I love it so much. That's a new addition, and yeah, I totally love it. This is all really thickened up. It's looking great. The hibiscus has got loads of leaves on. That's looking great. I have got a delphinium there that I just need to water. And then I couldn't decide whether to plant it in the border, because usually I lose my delphiniums to slugs and snails. And actually what I did was just put the pot in the border, which I think is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a bit of fresh compost, a bit of feed, and just stand it right in the back of the border and just let it do its thing in the border. And then I've got lovely seed heads on these Deschampsia grasses that just wiggle and waft. Again, these are quite new, so they're still establishing, but these ones look much better than the other ones, which have seemed to be a bit shaded out. So yeah, we'll see. I can always end up moving some around, but hoping they'll put on loads of growth. Sweet peas are looking good. I need to tie them in and feed them this weekend. That is a job. Loads of growth on the clematis that I had to hack back. We spoke about that in the last video, so I'm pleased about that. It's obviously healthy and ready to put on loads of growth. A few more little annuals I've planted out, a climber and nicotiana. Loads of growth on the astrantia. I hope the pond doesn't sound too loud. I can really hear it. The pond needs a top up. It's just been so dry. And then this shady bit is really filling out, so that's looking great. The hostas are up, more foxgloves. Yeah, that is looking great. The dwarf lilac is looking so beautiful. Absolutely love this. That was a bargain. I think I paid 30 quid for that. It's a standard kind of shape. More leaves on that fatsia. The wisteria around here, looking gorgeous. The kids have already started having their dinner outside, which is lovely. And then this rhododendron, which is looking so stunning. And I kind of have not a hate relationship, but a little bit of a love-hate with this rhododendron, because it's so happy and it grows so quick. And if you prune a rhododendron, even if you do it straight after it flowers, you sacrifice a flower bud the next year. So it had got so tall that I had to prune some of the, well, all of these stems on the top. So what it's resulted in, I've only got flowers around the outside and not in the middle. But I love it so much that I think I'm just gonna keep doing it like that. And what I plan to do maybe is just prune out half of this, so that half of it will get flowers for next year. So already my pruning of this year is going to impact the flowers for next year, which is crazy. But I think, yeah, if I can just cut out some of these, I just need to get to a balance where it's not all of them all the time. So I'm going to really pay attention to the stems. Like if you look here, I've got 3 stems coming off that one. So if I just take out the biggest one, those 2 will flower next year. And then I can take one of those out, and then that one will flower the next year. Do you see where I'm going? It's like a big commitment, but I'm determined to make it work, because I love it so much. This is then a shady strip. Another job I need to do is to straighten up that pot and add a tree stake in there. It's like one of those jobs that we've been meaning to do for ages. It needs just pulling back this way because it's starting to be on a bit of a wonk. But yeah, it's just one of those jobs that's like, oh yeah, we need to do that, and another month's gone by and we haven't. So yeah, I just love this garden so much. And when you look at it like this, it just demonstrates perfectly how half of it is sunny and very beautiful, and half of it is shady and equally very beautiful. And I think when you are planning and planting and thinking about, you know, your garden, you just need to make sure that you get that right. And it absolutely doesn't mean that your shady bits have to be boring. Not at all. They can be absolutely beautiful, but you just have to make sure you're planting the right things in the right spaces, and then it will all just come together. And this is another shady border, and the bleeding hearts just look incredible. And then the tiarella is like my new favourite plant for this year. I added lots of it in the autumn and I'm absolutely loving it. In fact, I don't ever want it to stop flowering. I just have loved it so much. It's been beautiful. And then more London Pride. So when I do cuttings, I'd like to add even more. I want to have like a really big mass of it because I love it so much. And then this bleeding heart is absolutely enormous. And I usually get them to go until about June. And then what can happen is the flowers fade. Sometimes the plant starts to go a bit yellow, and then it might be time to give it a chop. But they're just amazing. So that is our early May tour of this beautiful garden, and I just can't believe how quickly everything is growing and changing. And the next time we do it, you just won't even believe what else will then be in flower. It all just happens so quick. It's amazing. Oh, I just spotted something else I didn't show you. I mean, there's lots of things I didn't show you, but this is erigeron, tiny little daisies, and I grew them from seed, so I'm really pleased with that. That's a perennial, just come back every year. And this creeping thyme is looking really good, and it smells delicious when you stand on it, so I really love that plant. I hope that you enjoyed that little tour. As I said, it just ended up being a statue garden tour because there was so much to see here. I will do a tour of the other garden over the weekend so that you can see that side of the house. But yeah, this garden deserved its own little tour. I love it so much, and I think for anybody at the beginning of their garden journey, just keep going and just make a start, because this garden had nothing. And I've created this whole garden on a total budget. You just need to know when to do things. You need to grow from seed, plant bulbs, buy bargain perennials, learn how to divide, learn how to take cuttings. And once you can do all of those things, which, trust me, is not that overwhelming once you get started, it all just comes together, and you will just have immense amounts of pride when you get to sit and enjoy the garden that you've created. It's just the best feeling in the world. So yes, I hope that you loved that, and thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of my budget family garden.